8:20 p.m. With his laptop in front of him, Dr. Thomas Wilson continued hastily reading everything he could find on Jack the Ripper. Beside him was a notebook where he periodically jotted down important facts that might be useful for Austin and Angelique. He so wished there was more he could do for them. The house phone rang. He brought the receiver up to his ear. "Hello? Thomas, this is Angelique again." Gita rushed in. "Is it them? Are they safe?" He nodded. "What did you find at Durwood?" "The Ripper left us a package with more instructions," she said. Austin added, "And an ear that we think belonged to Walt Turner." Gruesome. He wanted to get his hands on that ear. "What are the instructions this time?" "We're going to Hanbury Street." "I was right. He is taking you on a tour of the 5 murder scenes from—" He looked at his notes. "Yes, here it is. Hanbury Street is the scene of the second murder, committed by Jack the Ripper. It's now a brewery not far from Shoreditch Station on the tube." "Tell them to come back now," Gita said frantically, which surprised him a little. She rarely revealed her fear so blatantly. "It's too dangerous. They need some kind of help. They should not do this alone." "Quiet, Gita." He agreed with her, but knew the words would only fall on deaf ears. The Ripper had Angelique's husband. She and Austin were going to see this gory journey to the end, no matter the outcome. "Tell me what his note said." Angelique read it to him verbatim, and also told him about a newspaper article and insurance papers that had been contained in the envelope as well. The information about IBC didn't shock any of them, given what they already knew. Someone high up at the bank, other than Walt Turner, was definitely involved in what happened today. His brother, Oliver Turner, the CEO? Whoever was involved, Wilson would also bet they had a hand in what happened in Guatemala, were responsible for the fire that killed his friend in China, and were making sure his research never found any breakthroughs. Learning how Angelique and Austin were uniquely connected to IBC made him wish he'd gotten samples from them before they'd left. "When they get back, that'll be the first box to tick off of our list of things to do." He took a drag on his pipe. "I wonder how the killer got his information about IBC." "It seems he knows more than we do, Doc, about a lot of things," Austin said. "True, always 3 steps ahead of us." After discovering the samples the Ripper had sent him were gone, his first inclination had been to give up his life's work entirely. How long had he chased the elusive hominid? Ages, and at each turn something or someone kept him from moving forward. But his self-pity had only lasted for a brief moment. Now he was back on track and ready to fight the invisible powers set against him. He was no longer alone in this battle. He had allies in Austin and Angelique, and when they returned, more samples from the Ripper, and samples from them. "How close are you to Hanbury now?" "Just a couple of blocks away." "I believe the Ripper will leave another note for you with instructions to go to Henrik Street, which was formerly known as Burner Street." He still didn't understand why the monster was trying to help him with his work. Could it be he and the killer shared a common enemy? "That's where the Ripper's 3rd victim was discovered." "Thank you, but please keep searching. I just want to find my husband," Angelique said. "I know, my dear. I think I can help with that. Austin is right. The Ripper continues to be several steps ahead of us, but what if we could get the jump on him?" "I like the sound of that, Doc. What's your idea?" Austin asked. "This madman is leading you down a specific path in sequential order of the slayings in Whitechapel in 1888. Instead of heading to Henrique's, where the 3rd homicide took place, I suggest you go to the location of his 5th and final murder. Perhaps going to Mary Jane Kelly's old street will give you the element of surprise. It's now a 5-level car park on the corner of Crispin Street and White's Row." "Doc, that's a great plan," Austin said. "I knew you would come through for us." "Get back here as soon as you can." "We will after we find Michael," Angelique stated firmly. He had little hope they would find her husband alive. "We're here at Hanbury now," Austin said. "We'll call you with what we discover. If it's pointing us to Henrique's like you believe, we'll head to that parking garage instead." "Good luck." He returned the receiver to the cradle and glanced at Gita. She was standing in the corner talking in hurried Polish on her mobile phone. The Ripper's business has certainly had an impact on her. He grabbed his cane and headed for the lift. Gita didn't even notice. When he got to the street, he hailed a black cab. "Where to?" the driver asked. "Henrik Street, my good man. £20 more for you if you get there quick." 2002, The Sanctuary of the Forgotten. David Bathory passed the iron gates with Albert, going deeper into the sanctuary. He had left the New Year's Eve party at his estate early, after Albert had rung him with the good news. 2002 is going to be a very good year for me. He had waited so long for this. When the bitch liar queen had fallen into slumber, he had removed the Ripper's stake. That had been several months ago. He had visited Jack's cell every day since, longing for the moment he could take him to the chamber on Gough Street to begin his training. But day after day there had been no change in the half-blood. He had tried everything imaginable to rouse him. Increasing Jack's blood supply seemed to have little impact on him. Warming his cell's temperatures produced the exact same result. He had even injected him with various drug cocktails. Nothing. Stiff as a board, mimicking the whores he'd killed long ago. But according to Albert, Jack's coloring had deepened and his heart rate had increased slightly an hour ago, just before midnight. His father's plan would unfold, and the Bathory bloodline would be elevated above all the others. He was only at the beginning of it all, but the fulfillment of the dream would come. Sweet revenge at long last. The secret chamber in the house of Gough Street was ready for its special guest.
"My lord, thank you for allowing me to be part of this great undertaking," Albert said. "Of course, I would have no other by my side."
Even though Albert was one of the lowest members of the Bathory bloodline, he had brought him into this endeavor because he recognized the man's strongest quality was absolute loyalty. He had cemented Albert's trust with promises of lofty positions for him and his family. Later, when he had discovered the man was a true believer, orthodox through and through, he knew Albert would never dare betray him. Albert grunted slightly under the weight of the body he was carrying. He is a bit of a weakling, though. Bathory carried 3 bags of blood, but he could have effortlessly toted the Stalcook stiff as well. Unfortunately for Albert, that wasn't the job for someone of his station. The slumbering Stalcook had been chosen after long consideration. The fellow had been laid to rest in a cell, which was attended solely by Albert. He would not be missed by any of the other Bathories who served the sanctuary. Secrecy was paramount in this enterprise. When they arrived at the block of cells, Albert placed the body onto the plastic tarp they had brought earlier. Here, too, the simple man was the lone caretaker of this block of cells, thanks to Bathory reassigning the duties of another sanctuary keeper. The plan was to place this corpse in the upper crypt once Jack was brought down.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Their kindred would never be the wiser, and there was no chance any other Morvicti would learn this important secret, since none of the other bloodlines ever came to the sanctuary.
Arrogant bastards, that will be their undoing.
Keeping hold of 1 bag of blood, Bathory handed the other bags to Albert.
"Bring me the latter."
As always, the good man lowered his eyes and addressed him as if he had already sat on the throne of the Morvicti sovereigns.
"Your will is my duty, your majesty, always."
Bathory smiled. Very befitting words. One day he would hear those sweet words not just from Albert, but from the lips of every Morvicti. Many nobles would have to die for that to happen, especially the Drakes. Let their heads roll. Albert brought in the ladder.
"Shall I take that blood to him, my lord?"
"No, I will do the honors." Bathory could barely contain its excitement. After long last, the man who was the fuse of the entire plan that had been laid out so long ago was rising. "Keep the ladder secure for me, Albert." With a bag of blood tucked under his arm, Bathory climbed up to Jack's cell. The Ripper's eyes were open, but he was staring unblinkingly at the ceiling.
"Thank the Ancient Ones. Welcome to the 21st century, Nikolai."
He sliced open the bag and placed it to the killer's lips. Jack closed his eyes and began hungrily sucking down the life-giving blood.
"You and I have so much to accomplish together, my friend."
8:30 p.m. present day. David Bathory watched Dr. Wilson get into a black cab. The old man had exited his home alone and in a hurry. Were McCord and his sister still inside? Bathory hadn't had access to the camera feeds for some time now, so he couldn't be sure. He intended to check all 3 floors. He needed his bargaining chip, Austin McCord. If Albert were here, he would send him in first. Going in alone wasn't his style, nor was it smart. But Albert was either dead or with the Drakes, and the men he had sent to kill Octavian weren't answering their phones. He had tried them several times since he had left the tube station. Before heading into Dr. Wilson's house, he pulled out his mobile. He was scraping the bottom of the barrel now, but he decided to contact Edmund, his second cousin. Edmund was in charge of securing blood bags from the local donation centers for the sanctuary. Edmund's status was barely above those who served the prisoners. It sickened him to reach out to Edmund, but he was running out of options.
"David, why are you calling me?" "That's not how you should answer your phone when the head of your bloodline calls, cousin."
In the background were the sounds of a crowd and a muffled voice over an intercom.
"Where are you, anyway?" Fuck off. I'm taking the first flight out of this country if they don't get to me first. The Imperial Morvicti Council has issued warrants for every battery. Most have been arrested already, including your sister. She's been taken to Romania. You've destroyed our bloodline. What the bloody hell happened in the sanctuary today?
He clicked off his phone, not willing to answer his cousin's question.
How do I proceed? Perhaps I could just ring the doorbell?
He did have a gun. He could force his way in. With Austin as his prisoner, he might have a chance at getting Octavian to negotiate. If not, he had to turn the tables on the bastard somehow. He had placed an APW on McCord's head. Capturing and taking him before the council would be a first step. The next, convincing them to believe McCord was the Ripper would not be easy, but it was possible. He just had to make it look like Octavian was behind the conspiracy. How? Drake had confessed to meeting the Ripper in Prague. He had remained silent, breaking the law of the Morvicti, to protect the half-blood bastard and his traitorous mother, Drake's cousin, Irina. That's how I will convince them. Walking to Dr. Wilson's door, Bathory wasn't certain that information in the head of Austin McCord would be enough to sway the council. If he couldn't convince them to turn on Octavian, he was a dead man. Thanks for watching Morvicti Blood, Episode 19, The Ripper's Tour Begins. I hope you'll like and share and subscribe and hit the notification bell. New episodes are dropping every Monday and Friday. But if you want more now and haven't watched the full 8-part sequel, Morvicti Execution, it's already live. Start there to witness the betrayal that set everything in motion. Want to read ahead and uncover secrets not yet shown on screen? The full novel, Morvicti Blood, is available now on Amazon. You'll find the link in the description if you dare. I hope you'll leave a comment. What do you think? What creeped you out? Who do you think survives? I'm going to read every comment, and I'm going to try to answer every comment or question that you have. For early access, bonus episodes, and forbidden lore, join our inner circle, Bloodbound, at patreon.com/Lee Swift. Until next time, keep your lights on, stay quiet, and whatever you do, don't answer the knock at your door.